Powered by Riverside FM.
It is tonight. The Minnesota Vikings Night Practice is tonight. It's one of the events, man, that I always look forward to attending is the Minnesota Vikings Night Practice. It's something about those lights, bro. It's something about those lights that when those lights come on, players play a little bit differently. There's a little bit more intensity. There's more fans there. And therein lies the players ramping it up a little bit. Nobody wants to look bad in front of the fans. They know that there's going to be a lot of cameras out there. So everybody brings it for those night practices, man. I look forward to the night practices. Now, here's what I ask UP Nation, Purple Gang, Skull Nation. Who you looking forward to keeping an eye on tonight, man? Here, listen to me. Here's somebody that I want you to keep an eye on because I think this brother is going to make some noise. I am talking about Jeff Okudah. There has not been a lot of people talking about my guy Jeff Okudah from the Ohio State University, but he's making some noise in training camp. UP Nation, he's making some noise. And listen, I know it's early. We haven't even played a preseason game yet. Anybody can perform and look good when it comes to a small sample size. Man, but let me tell you this, when you see it, when you start to see consistencies in practice, when you start to see that ceiling that everybody said Jeff Okudah had coming out of Ohio State, third overall pick in the first round, you start to wonder, is this dude starting to hit? Will he be the Sam Darnold of the Minnesota Vikings defense? There's a possibility. Here's what I know is that he hasn't had a guy that he's getting the tutelage from like a B-Flow. Never had that. Never had that. And now you match that mad scientist mentality with a third overall pick talent where he faced in college some of the best competition that you can face playing in the Big Ten. And maybe, just like my guy Patrick Buchanan said, maybe he just hadn't had great coaching. Like, that's a possibility. Maybe he just hasn't had great coaching in the NFL, man. But there's something about Jeff Okudah. Here's where he's good. Pressing at the line of scrimmage. He's a big, physical, strong cornerback. You're talking about a disruptor. He's got the body frame, UP Nation, where anytime he presses you at the line of scrimmage, he's going to throw off the timing of the offense and disrupt routes. I think his weakness has always been, because he's such a longer type cornerback, is little jittery wide receivers that can change direction really fast. When you get Jeff Okudah caught up in space, that's when he tends to have a lot of trouble. Like, he's that physical guy that can dominate you off the line of scrimmage. And if he can stay physical with you up until that 5-yard mark, you're in trouble because everything is going to be thrown off. The timing is going to be thrown off. When he was at Ohio State, he played a lot of zone coverage. And when he came into the league, he was about 20 years old, man. And sometimes you think about what you were like when you were 20 years old physically. Could you get out there and play in the NFL? And I know we're talking about a pro caliber athlete, but think about where you were physically. And sometimes it just takes a little bit. And maybe that's the case with Jeff Okudah. Then he had to transition from basically a zone scheme at Ohio State. Keep in mind, I watch all Ohio State's games. I watch all of their games. So he was coming from a zone scheme into the NFL in two franchises at least where they played a lot of man-to-man, man. So sometimes it just takes a while for you to get acclimated. And now, right place, right time, right coach, Brian Flores, Dr. Blitzenstein, has got him under his wing, and so far, so good. So far, so good. He's doing some things. Now, again, it's early, man, but I don't think it's wrong to give him his kudos. Here's the deal. Here's what I'll tell you, and you can take this. You can book this. This dude went from being picked up, and people were talking about he's a maybe to make the team. The Minnesota Vikings they're just taking a flyer on him. He may be a depth guy. That's what everybody was saying about Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah, you can book this. Barring any injury or any setback, he's going to be in the cornerback rotation. He's going to be in the top 3, depending on how you want to use Isaiah Rodgers and Byron Murphy Jr. He's going to be one of the 3. He's going to be one of the 3. His ability in press coverage is exactly what Brian Flores wants. Tonight, I'm keeping an eye on my guy, Jeff Okudah, because I want to see him when the lights come on. He's been showing out already. You could almost say when the ball comes to his side of the field, man, he's been pretty dominant all training camp long. But it's something about those lights. I want to see who performs when the lights come on. Obviously, we want to see J.J. McCarthy see what he does in front of the fans, in front of the lights, practices. Things are different when those lights come on. Obviously, we want J.J. to play well. Had a subpar practice a couple of days ago, came back from that, bounced back from that. I want to see what he does under the lights. This is just another test. There's always going to be these tests when it comes to guys that are going to be a big part of our team that I want to see this a little bit different. And then next Saturday, when the lights come on in the dome, it's going to be another test. Another player I want to keep my eye on, man, is Brian Asamoah. I talked about the fight in practice. He was kind of a big part of that. I want to see what Brian Asamoah does. Former 3rd-round pick who has been on the squad for the last couple years but hasn't made really an impact. This has got to be the year where he's going to make an impact. I would even debate with anybody that he may not even make the team because he got my guy Kobe King who's going to be pressing him all training camp long. And I just think Kobe King is a better linebacker. But all that's going to play out in the preseason. All that's going to play out starting tonight in the night practice. Like, I just think Kobe King's a better thumper. He's got better instincts, better awareness. Not so great in coverage, but Kobe King's going to get that. They're working on that with Kobe King. I just like Kobe King better. So I'm keeping my eye on Brian Asamoah. My prediction is Brian Asamoah will not make the 53. And he's a 3rd-round pick. But I could be wrong, man. It's still early. There's a lot to play out here. Tyler Batty, I'm keeping my eye on him. Again, he was kind of part of that scrum. He and J.J. McCarthy got into it a little bit, and I love the fact that J.J. McCarthy came over in defense of Aaron Jones. Shows that he's got a lot of heart. J.J. McCarthy does. Tyler Batty, I'm keeping my eye on. Silas Bolden, man, listen, that wide receiver room, I mean, I look at the wide receiver room for the Minnesota Vikings, and right now it's at a fork in the road because you got so many injuries. You got TJ, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison with the suspension. So these type of moments, like tonight, in the night practice, these are the moments where you start to show your coaches, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. These big events, under the lights. Silas Bolden is one of those guys, man. Keep in mind, everybody's talking about Moore and everybody's talking about Felton. Listen, man, Silas Bolden has the best hands out of any one of those two, and he's a little bit jittery. He's a small guy, but he's one of those guys that's a playmaker. He's going to have his opportunity to show who he really is. I can't wait. See, these are the dudes, man, that's going to get a lot of playing time in these preseason games. Like, a lot of our main guys are going to get put on the shelves, and I think this season is going to be fun because we have so many different dynamic dudes that we want to see, and they're going to have 3 preseason games to kind of figure it out. So it's going to be interesting, the competition, and I think Silas Bolden is going to be heard from, man. He's a playmaker. Here's a dude that I think is going to be the 4th cornerback, and I put him ahead of Mekhi Blackman. It's Dwight McGlothern, Nudie from Arkansas. When he came out of college, he was highly rated. Highly rated. for his ball skills and his length. Like sometimes, man, you don't have like the best measurables, but you just know how to ball. You just know how to ball. Like, in basketball, people always get caught up in, oh, well, how tall is he? And I say this all the time, man. Sometimes you just need to look for hoopers. And the same thing applies to football. Sometimes you need dudes that can just go out there and ball. And Dwight McGlothern is one of those guys that can go out there and ball. He has been really exceptionally good in training camp. Exceptionally good in training camp. Consistent every day, despite what everybody says in terms of his measurables. My prediction is that he is going to be a part of a lot of dime packages this year. I think it's going to be hard for him to get into that top three. I think it's going to be hard for him to get reps over Murphy, Okudah, and Rodgers. But after that, barring the Minnesota Vikings making any other move at the cornerback spot, I think Nudie is right there for that cornerback spot. Like, no question. Another guy, dude, man, so much depth on this team. So much depth on this team. I'm looking at Tyron Ingram Dawkins, another guy that I'm keeping my eye on. This is a guy that I expect that's going to get some run in the preseason. And he's going to have a lot of film, and we're going to have an opportunity to put our eyes on him a little bit. Like, these are the guys that I want to see. 5th-round pick from Georgia. You come from a Georgia program, you know how to play. They don't recruit any scrubs, and they have NFL caliber coaches, especially on the defensive side for Coach Smart. You come out of Georgia, bruh, you know how to play. Dawkins is no different. He's got size. He's got athleticism. He's got that DNA championship pedigree. Notice how Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is filling this team full of guys that have won championships in one form or another. Like, you can just see the roster starting to grow. Go back and look at Zimmer's last roster and look at guys that at some point won championships in their career. In college and the pros in high school, and look at what Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is doing to the Minnesota Vikings roster. He is filling this roster with championship DNA guys. Some people think it's a small thing. I don't think it's a small thing. It's bringing that championship winning culture to the Minnesota Vikings. Man, who you want to see in tonight's practice? Definitely going to have some updates as things come out, as I'm there viewing. It's going to be interesting to watch, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Please hit that like and subscribe button. This is Unconventional Playbook. Just takes a second. Getting ready for the Minnesota Vikings night practice tonight. Can't wait to see what transpires during that practice. We got Patrick Buchanan coming up again this week, man. We're going to keep pumping out the content. And as always, UP Nation, we will see you when we see you. Skol. Keep your eye on Jeff Okudah. Skol.